figured now that I was up on this hill, Trebevic, I would go for a hike. They have a number of trails, and I think I'm going to go on the H1, a moderate hike of around 9.3 kilometers. So the first little part of this hike is downhill, I think coming from the parking lot, and then it'll go up the back end of this mountain. Past the official car park, walk past very quickly. We're into a forest path here. It should be around 4.5 kilometers from here, and a steady climb most of the way, it sounds like. So you can see a heavily treed area here, kind of continues on up with these beautiful big trees. And there I am, going to Dobre Vode. I just got told off by a bunch of group young mountain bikers because I apparently missed a sign that I was supposed to take a different route to the H1. I'm now on the right trail here, and will avoid my mountain biking partners here. Now I've kind of joined a old car path through the forest. Few of the other paths are kind of cutting off of it. There was a open area behind me, but we'll keep going this way. I've now kind of started climbing a little bit more, come off the road onto more of a small path that is sort of pushing up the side of the mountain, and sort of see a bit of a view through the trees there. Just went by a switchback here, and I'm continuing upwards on the trail. There's the odd view through the mountains. You might be able to see a little bit of Sarajevo through one of the holes there, although this is pretty thick. But a pretty nice trail all in all, a steady climb up. Kind of got to a little bit of an open area as we get higher up here. The last sign said we were about 15 minutes away from the viewpoint I think we get at this. So I'll keep moving forward and see what we see. Realizing we have an old brick or stone building up in front of us here. I'll see if it says anything about it. Made it to the signboard, so I'll go take a look at the viewpoint over here. So just walking out to this viewpoint, I do think it keeps going if I understood the signs there. If you wanted to kind of cross into a different jurisdiction of Bosnia, but I more came for this view. Ooh. Wow. So you get it on both sides actually. You have this viewpoint over Sarajevo here. Pull it down so you can see. And then it comes around and you get to see the valleys in and around Sarajevo. So, that's well worth the climb. So the backside of the peak here kind of takes you around to a different peak. So you kind of come up to this nice little flat piece here. Looks like they have a marker for, I'm assuming what they say is the peak. And you can see the radio towers or television towers in behind. You can see the Sarajevo side. So coming around the peak. Looking on the other side of the mountain here. On the stone that kind of marks the peak, they have this nice little thing noting that Trebevic 1629 meters. A little handprint so I can show you that I actually am here. Yeah, pretty cool. And then a tremendous view from that peak. So as much as there's lots of other places I could potentially hike to from this point, I am going to head back down to Sarajevo from here. It's took me about an hour and a half to get up here, and it was around just under 6 kilometers. Last view here of the valley as I'm walking back. A little bit of rain clouds coming in, so may have to hurry it down without being too uncareful, of course. Decided to walk down to Sarajevo. And of course you walk by where the bobsled track is. It's kind of a cool feeling that you can walk up and down on the bobsled track that was in the '84 Sarajevo Winter Olympics. Of course now it's mostly a canvas for graffiti. This is probably the most defined section of the snowmobile track. It's also where men come out underneath with buses and that, so lots of people come to this section. Just what he was the mascot of the '84 Sarajevo Games. A few oranges on yellow, black one. These are half of to the side, there's a cool people on here. Shorter section here. Apparently the track was 1.4 kilometers long, so there's obviously a lot of canvas to do art on. This is obviously the end point for the bobsled, but I'm going to get off and follow the trail down here. I'm assuming these are buildings associated with the Olympics, and whether they're destroyed in the war or just have run down like the bobsled track, obviously they aren't in as good condition. But this is the road I'm following down, and assuming, because there's a marker there, that this is the road that takes me into Sarajevo. Seem to be signs pointing to this being a walking path down, so we will try it. We're just gently, maybe not gently, a fairly steep descent on this rocky ground into Sarajevo that you can see through the crack here. A little help from one of the guys that was hiking down. I meet pavement here after coming off my trail over there. So we'll continue down here and this should take us into the city. We still have a little bit to descend here, but on paved streets through the city and getting some nice views of Sarajevo as I descend. So a nice view through these fruit trees to see where I'm coming down. The road that I'm looking at will take me right to Australia Street, or Bridge. I'm still descending here, but I've now hit the paved stones, kind of part of more of the older streets, I believe. So now you can see some of the mosques in the downtown, so I'm kind of on the home stretch. Just coming down to some of the main streets here in downtown Sarajevo. Hiked about 15.7 kilometers, and it's been just about 4 hours, 3 3/4 hours. So it was a good hike, but now I'm going to go find something to eat and relax.